The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and more in southwestern Connecticut.
We are at Richfield High School inside the gymnasium as we bring you games 3 and 4 of the FCIAC quarterfinals for girls basketball. It'll be the number 3 Stamford Black Knights, the defending conference champions, taking on the number 6 Danbury Hatters. I'm Frank Granito, sitting alongside Kevin Coleman, and we've already got some breaking news. Kevin, let's get right to it. Junior captain Alexa Kellner out for the Black Knights. She is sick with the flu.
That's tough news, and it comes at probably the worst time in the season, the playoffs. But we want to wish Alexis a speedy recovery, and the Black Knights now need to, this is when they really need to come together as a team. We know they have the depth, so this is when the bench really needs to come up big tonight. You're talking about underclassmen that need to step up in a big game in the quarterfinals, Frank.
We might see a little more of Jessica Nelson. The freshman Kelly Jagodzinski will get the start in her place. Stamford comes in 16-4 on the season, 14-2 in the conference, to Danbury's 12-8 and 11-5. When they met back on February 1st, it was a 51-30 win for the Black Knights. Let's welcome in the third member of our crew now. We'll go down to Chris Cutzo to see what he expects from both teams tonight. Chris.
What is going on, Frank and Kevin? We are ready and we are excited for some more playoff quarterfinals basketball here at the Ridgefield Gymnasium. The big developing story, though, like you said, Alexa Kellner out with the flu tonight. I think that's going to be a big factor for Stamford High. But the X factor for them tonight will surely be Andrea O'Connor. She's going to have to step it up on the boards, Frank and Kevin, in order for Stamford High to advance to the next round.
Thank you, Chris. And as Chris mentioned, this is the third game we're doing today. We were live in Norwalk earlier this afternoon. A nail-biter in the 4-5 matchup. Fairfield Ward squeaking out a 47-46 victory despite missing some big free throws down the stretch. I almost had a heart attack sitting courtside, Kevin.
I was watching that first game, and you talk about a missed free throw with Norwalk able to come down the court with 8 seconds left. They had an open three. Sometimes it goes in, Frank. Sometimes it doesn't. A great look for Norwalk. Almost went in for them. Almost an exciting finish. But what a thrilling victory for Ward, who at the end of the season was struggling a little bit. So that's a big pick-me-up win in the quarterfinals, as now that they look on to the semis against Trumbull.
That's right. The number 1 Trumbull Eagles on cruise control through the quarters. They went full court press all night long, and it was just too much for the young Staples Wreckers to handle. They won that one 54-37. Kev, let's step aside quickly. When we get back, we'll have the starting lineups and the first quarter of action right here on the home of FCIAC Sports, the HAN Network.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com. Looking for new opportunity this year? How does growing a business with unlimited income potential sound? Christy Kinsman is a local entrepreneur building a global health and wellness business in Fairfield County. Offering cutting-edge anti-aging skincare, all botanically based and paraben-free, and a complete vegan, clean-eating nutritional plan, Christie's looking for business partners that can help get others healthier while taking advantage of an untapped market. Take that first step to freedom from the 9-to-5 grind by learning more about the products and our mentorship program. Contact Christie at thelittlehouseshop@yahoo.com.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ng for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network. Back on the HAN Network, Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman, and Chris Kutzo bringing you the 3-6 matchup in the girls' quarterfinals. The 2-7 game between the Richfield Tigers and the Greenwich Cardinals will follow. Let's go through the starting lineups first for the visiting Hatters. They will wear all orange to the Black Knights' whiteout. It'll be Susan Almeida, Emily Grenier, Emily Brogy, Katrina Sullivan, and Andrea Orr. For the Black Knights, we'll see Megan Lansadell, the freshman, Brooke Kelly, Kelly Jagodzinski in place of Alexa Kellner, Andrea O'Connor, and Marth Gearand up front. Kev, we've talked about the size in the front court for the Black Knights all season long, but in my opinion, tournament basketball is one with great guard play. How does the loss of Kellner affect the Black Knights?
Well, it doesn't affect them right there. Started off with a bang, Andrea O'Connor. We know what she's like. We've seen her do that all season long.
I like seeing them get O'Connor involved early. A good find from Lansadell right away. The freshman has played well beyond her years this season, getting the starting lineup job as just a rookie. Another guard to keep an eye on for the Black Knights will be Camille Martinez coming off the bench. As a travel called here on Brogy, and we have seen Martinez really come into that six-man role. She's done such a great job as one of the senior captains for this squad and will play a pivotal role if the Black Knights are going to repeat in either the conference or state.
And she's great off the bench, too. You see there's Lansdale there, the freshman, doing a great job moving the ball around. See his ball movement right here. Here's Garand. Picture perfect ball movement, Frank. If you're a head coach, that was money right there.
That's the best way to break the zone, is keep that ball moving. Eventually they have to over-pursue, and a shot will open up as O'Connor just missed coming up with a steal. Outside, and a look for three on the way, and it's good. This one coming from Susanna Almeida.
And look out for the Almeida twins. These two can play. As you can see there, they can shoot as well.
That's Lansadell running the point up top. Inside to O'Connor, and Jagodzinski flashes open. Down low to Gearan. She spots up on the baseline. 2 for 2 to start the night.
Good start from Martha Garand there. Two nice jumpers in the perimeter. Good start so far for the Black Knights.
On the right wing, it's Katrina Sullivan. Down to Grenier. And back up top. Hands off to Almeida. She's working to her left, guarded by Brooke Kelly. Looking for help, and she has to retreat again. And a 3-second violation called against the Hatters.
How about Brooke Kelly? That's a name that I think a lot of people forget about. She's gotten great minutes here on varsity, but I think what's helped her a lot this year is getting key minutes at the JV level as well. We've seen her play really well there. I think that's what's helped her game, which obviously has turned into a starting position now. And you see the great defense she played there that forced a turnover for Danbury.
She's got an open look at three and knocks it down. Black Knights yes to miss, as they are 4 for 4 now from the field.
There she is, Brooke Kelly. You see here on defense, Frank, look at the feet.
We saw Stamford early on in the year against the Ridgefield Tigers. It was a game they lost that we covered. Fast forward a month and we caught them against the Greenwich Cardinals, and this has been a different Stamford team down the stretch. They have just come on so strong of late. Winners of their last 8, 11-2 in their last 13.
So impressive. You mentioned that Greenwich game. I think that's really when you started to see them turn around. That's the corner they needed.
So made his three-pointer off the mark. Lansdale the board.
And it's amazing. You thought after that Richfield game, good take by Jasinski there. You think after that Richfield game, you almost thought they were going to fall apart because Richfield did an excellent job, especially at Stamford in that win. But Stamford doing a great job of coming together as a team. This is defending champions for the FCIAC, and they want to regain that championship. And what a way to come together and down the stretch. I mean, you talk about that record, 11-2. You can't ask for a better way to go into the playoffs.
As Jagodzinski hit her first from the line. Knocks down the second. Black Knights off to a very fast start. Yet to miss. They lead 11-3, 3 minutes in. As the double team comes and taking it away, O'Connor, but she stepped on the line.
Good defense there by Stamford. You see the trap. They're going to come at you, not just in the corners, but even on the perimeter, inside the paint. They're going to make you try and move the ball around. Danbury having a difficult time doing that so far.
So we get a look at Devonna Spruill for the first time today for the Hatters. She jumps into a passing lane, deflects that one out of bounds. Hatters are coached by Jackie DiNardo. It is Diane Burns for the Black Knights. Stamford went 5-2 against playoff teams this year.
Great pass. An even better finish there. You talk about great. How about this start for the Black Knights? They came to shoot, Frank.
At the opposite end, no good, but an offensive rebound and a foul called here. Heading to the line will be Katrina Sullivan. First foul against Gurand. Sullivan knocks down the first.
And here comes Camille Martinez off the bench, replacing Gurand. And I think, Frank, tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, for the Danbury Hatters, they really want to compete in this game. They need to try and get the big names in foul trouble early on so they can, have a seat on the bench.
And one luxury that Stamford will have tonight, even without Kellner, they don't have to rely on their bigs as much. While it will be a major advantage, they have the ability to play just with that speed and a lot of guards on the floor as Lansdale knocks down a three. Black Knights 6 for 6 from the field to start. 16-5 advantage just past the halfway mark in the first quarter. So they go down to the baseline, and it's taken away by Lansdale.
Very smart, though. You see her eyes lit up. She had someone down the court. There's a turnover there, but Frank, just take a look here. She grabs the steal, looks up court. Brooke Kelly was running down the court, but great job by Danbury to come back. She had the right idea of, instead of forcing it, taking it up herself. Those are the little things you look for, especially at this level. You don't want student athletes to force things down the court.
And there's another steal from Lansdale. She looks to run the floor, giving chase, but they won't get her as it's 2 points and a quick timeout taken by Coach DiNardo. 7 straight buckets from the field. The Black Knights are perfect and leading 18-5 with 3:29 remaining. We'll step aside and be right back on the HAN Network.
Discover a world of wellness in the heart of New Canaan. Halo Studios, New Canaan's first collaborative wellness center, offers you the freedom to choose from the best and latest health, fitness, and wellness options. Inside Halo Studios, you'll find all the wellness experts you need at places like Halo Fitness, Priority Wellness, and Sama Yoga Center. Come by for a free wellness assessment, open 7 days a week at 45 Grove Street. For more information, visit halostudios.com or call 203-594-9909.
Back on the HAN Network, and for a look inside the huddles, let's go across the court to Chris Kutzel.
Thank you, Kevin. Head coach for Danbury, Jackie DiNardo, was not happy during that timeout. She preached getting defensive stops for the Hatters. Obviously, Stamford High has had their way shooting the basketball with the Danbury front court, but they definitely have to capitalize on advantages on the offensive side of the ball because they haven't been able to shoot the ball well. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. O'Connor had the rebound originally, but a good job by the Hatters getting it back. Shot on the way was partially blocked by Lansdale, doing a little bit of everything early on.
And that's what we go back to what I was just saying. forcing incorrect passes like that. A good look. Frank, they are just dynamite from the field right now.
8 for 8. 3 threes to go with it. That's quickly inside. Pass down low. It's off a foot, and here's Camille Martinez coming up with it. It's the Black Knights, a well-oiled machine. Jagodzinski is feeling it. Oh. She's got 10 points. No Kellner, no problem. Kelly Jagodzinski picking up the slack.
Kellner probably has a smile on her face watching at home right now. What a great start for the Black Knights.
Jumper from the free throw line. Off the back iron, no good, but Grenier the board. Looking for help, and it comes all the way up top to Almeida. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's a 24-5 lead in favor of Stamford. A foul here will go on O'Connor.
And actually, that was probably Danbury's best look of the night. Great ball movement there. Unfortunately, it didn't go in, but you have to look at the positives there. That's how they're going to try and beat this zone. Move the ball around inside, back out, back in. They found an open shooter, just didn't go in. Great look.
That's down low, shot blocked from behind. Lansdale getting a hand on that one, and it finds Camille Martinez. Draws a triple team, goes up with the runner, and why not? They've made their first 10 buckets, Kev.
Camille Martinez, how impressive has she been all year? And this defense again, Frank.
Lansdale's got time to pull her hair out of her face, and now Martinez will wisely slow things down. Down low for O'Connor with the left hand, and they get it to go.
What a pretty pass there by Martinez. An easy finish for O'Connor.
Controlling there is Rebecca Cohn. Pass down and a foul called, a push. We'll see who it was on. Goes on Martinez, her first, the team's third. 1:12 remaining in the first quarter. 28-5 is the score in favor of the Black Knights. They are yet to miss from the field as Martinez comes up with a steal. Taking it to the rack, and she gets it to go.
Hey, you really cannot ask for a better start from a basketball team.
It's inside Almeida. Sends up top. Spruill with it. And the pass down low taken away again.
Stamford right now, I think, is sending a message to the remaining teams in the FCIAC that they are for real.
Kicked outside. Kelly's going to shoot a three. And finally a miss on the 12th field goal attempt of the night. Almost went perfect through the first quarter. 7.5 minutes before that first miss.
I haven't seen a good start like this in a long time, Frank. This is, you can't ask for a better start. Picture perfect.
Well, let's go across the court behind the benches with Chris Kutzel.
Frank, obviously Stanford High shooting at over an 80% clip so far. They've really done a good job offensively. But how about Kelly Jagodzinski subbing in for the injured Alexa Kellner? She's obviously played a big factor so far, and Stanford High has played well defensively. Back to you.
Thank you, Kev. Another steal inside. O'Connor at the opposite end. Can't get it to fall, and a foul with 15 seconds remaining in the quarter. And possibly the best offensive quarter we've seen, boys or girls, this entire season. But what about the defense? Danbury's still sitting on 5 points. They've been there since about the 6-minute mark, Kev.
I think that's what people aren't necessarily thinking about right now. It's the offense. I think a lot of people are talking about their defense. I think, again, I go back to saying they're sending a message to the remaining teams here is that not only is their offense great, but their defense will get you.
Great look from Lansdale. Kelly at the buzzer gets it to go. What a start. A 33-5 run through the entire first quarter. The Black Knights on top, as Kevin said, putting the rest of the league on blast. We'll step aside and be right back with more high school hoops after this on the HAN Network. Ready for winter? Ski and Sport has everything you need to be fully outfitted for the season. A family-owned and operated business with over 40 years of experience, Ski and Sport's 3 convenient locations in Fairfield County offer top-quality, high-fashion ski and winter wear. In addition to clothing for men, women, and children, we also offer seasonal rentals for the entire family. Stop by our stores on 1 Ethan Allen Highway in Ridgefield, 877 Post Road East in Westport, and at 110 Main Street in New Canaan, or visit us at skiandsport.net. Back on the HAN network, 33-5, the score at the end of the first quarter, and what a quarter it was, Kevin Coleman.
What a great start for Stamford. I think if you're any coach in basketball, you mentioned how we haven't seen this in boys or girls. What a fantastic start. 33-5 run to start the second quarter.
And let's get the opinion of the third member of our group, Chris Cuzzo. Chris.
Frank and Kevin, obviously not the first quarter you want if you're Danbury, but inside the huddle there, Coach DiNardo was talking about limiting the dribble penetration and staying on their man. They obviously have to step it up defensively if they want to get back in this game. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Only 2 field goals missed by the Black Knights in that first quarter. It's stepping inside and knocking down the mid-range jumper was Brianna Rosario.
Nice job by Rosario there. Stick with that shot.
As Giran draws a foul at the other end. We'll head to the line to shoot 2. And a much better possession to start the quarter there for Danbury.
It was. Great start. You know, if you're head coach DiNardo, yeah, it's an excellent start to the second quarter after a dreadful first.
With that with that free throw, Giran is now the 4th Black Knight to eclipse 5 points already, with 2 more sitting at 4. The leading Hatter has 3. Jagodzinski leads all of them with 10. Lancedale leads all players with 4 steals. As the starting 5 has reunited on the floor for Coach Burns. They go down low, but Giran will be called for the offensive foul. And that is definitely the thought process for the Black Knights when they've got O'Connor and Giran out there together. They want to have them post up. There's a major height advantage for the Black Knights today.
Well, Frank, you talk about an advantage. You send it to them down low. If they're covered, they can kick it back out for a three-pointer. We can see how well they can shoot. They're just an all-around good team.
We'll see who this one is on. It could be Lancedale or Giran. And they'll get Lancedale. Her first, probably for the better. It would have been the third on Giran with 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter. As Sullivan misses her first attempt, 2 for 3 from the line now.
Katrina Sullivan has been really solid for the Hatters all season long.
Can't get the second either, and Giran collects the board.
She was 2 for 2 from her last trip to the line, now 0 for 2 on that trip.
Kelly with it, trying to find Giran, who's posting up. And they get her for a push again.
And they're going to have to go to the bench now. That's 3. We're going to see Camille Martinez come in for her.
2 offensive fouls and as many possessions, so Giran will take a seat with 3.
You're going to see Coach Diane Burns speak with her a little bit about how to fix that. You're going to get called for that every time. It's just a little hiccup that she needs to fix in her postgame.
Good look there, but it's just out of the reach of Rosario. I like the aggressive thought from Almeida.
And those are the type of things that the Hatters need to start doing a little bit. Find some creative ways to score, especially through this very tough Black Knights defense.
Lancedale circling her way around a screen, kicks it outside. Kelly with a 3-pointer on the way. Got it.
The Richfield Tiger girls are looking on right now, doing a little scouting. Brooke Kelly putting on a show from three-point land.
This one poked, last touch by O'Connor. It will stay with the Hatters. A 30-point lead now, largest of the night for the Black Knights. It's going inside up off the glass too strong that time was Sullivan.
Good job by Sullivan there. Good pivot foot.
Jagodzinski's three-pointer off the mark, and Almeida the rebound. Looking up ahead. Driving to the rack, able to regain control. Good basket there. Tylin Ith with the bucket.
How about Almeida with the pass? Good vision there. Get the assist.
And the foul goes against Ith. As Lansdale quickly over to Jagodzinski. That one inside, and Kelly had to climb the ladder to control that one. Little runner on the way for Martinez, no good. O'Connor the rebound and the putback.
And Frank, that's part of her game that I think she's most strong at, is getting the rebound, but especially on the offensive end, getting those offensive rebounds and putting back easier shots.
Kelly tipped the pass away momentarily. Almeida were able to regain. Here comes the trap, and now working her way out of trouble, but that's going to be a travel.
Almeida moved that pivot foot. Referee's going to call that every time.
And a timeout going to be taken by the Danbury Hatters. Let's take it as well. It's 39-9. The Black Knights on top. We'll be right back on the HAN Network.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
5:25 remaining in the first half. It has been all Black Knights. An opportunity here, though, as Almeida to the rack, gets it to roll in.
Almeida showing that she's a good player there. Nice little move inside. Kisses it off the glass.
And out of the timeout and off a Danbury bucket. Let's go across the court to Chris Kutzo. Chris.
Frank and Kevin, obviously not the effort you want so far if you're Darien, like we said. But Coach Sonaro preached, watch out for the defensive traps, I should say, for Stamford High coming on the offensive side of the floor. They're going to have to work around that and penetrate the basket if they want to get back in this game. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. And that's frustrating, Kevin, after you finally get a stop at the other end off the block, and then you come back and an offensive foul ends that possession.
Yeah, Andrea Orr there needs to be careful. Both her and Garan are having a difficult time. You know, there is a way to push off on the post, but they're both doing it incorrectly, which is going to get called every time by the referee.
And I did like that we have seen the consistency now. They set the tone early on. They're going to make that call, and they've stuck with it through the first half here. 4:35 remaining, a 39-11 lead as Kelly crosses over in the middle, kicks outside. Jagodzinski's shot misses everything, and O'Connor trying to savor it. Just can't get there in time. We're looking at a 28-point lead, Kevin. Part of it is because Stanford came out making their first 11 field goals, shooting the lights out from behind the arc in this first half, over 70%. But while defensive stops would be nice, it was the empty possessions in that first half, or in that first quarter, that really spelled the Hatters' demise early on.
It also was the turnovers, too. That really killed them. It's just... That has a lot of credit to do with the Stanford defense, Frank. I mean, it's the traps will intimidate any team, and right now, Danbury's just falling into them every offensive possession. And I think that had a lot to do with why Stanford got such a big lead, or why they still are and still have a big lead. But boy, you talk about, again, just an unbelievable start. Especially to a quarterfinal game. You couldn't ask for a better start.
It was a Stanford team early this year that people thought they weren't going to be able to replace key parts from a championship roster. They really just needed time. They've won 8 straight, 11 of their last 13, and they are looking like one of the best teams in the state right now after a 33-point first quarter. as the foul goes on Andrea O'Connor, her second.
Yeah, you're right, Frank. They do look like a championship-built team again. And it's amazing that we talked about how they had that little hiccup mid-season. You know, a lot of people started doubting them. And I think they heard that, and they're answering. They're firing back at all the people that said they weren't going to make it again.
A big three-pointer there, Devonna Spurrill. As the Hatters desperately needed that one. O'Connor isolating, goes up off the glass, gets the bucket and the foul.
And you know what, Frank? I love that play. You didn't not see her do that at the beginning of the season. You're starting to see her mature in her basketball game. We know how great she is on the volleyball court. Very gifted volleyball player. But how about the way she decides to get the ball, have it over her head, looks around the court, tries to see if she had an open player, decides to put it on the floor, takes it to the glass, now she goes to the line. Excellent play.
It is the second foul against Andrea Orr, as O'Connor looking to convert on the three-point opportunity. No good. So the lead 41-14 now with 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
And I think if she wants to take her game to the next level, because she's only a junior, she still has a year left. If she wants to take her game to the next level, she has to play that type of role again on the offense, getting the ball inside the paint and taking it to the rack.
Almeida tried the runner off the baseline, no good. As Lansdale fires one inside, and O'Connor just can't get it to go. And now foul called here. It'll be the third on O'Connor, Kev.
We'll have to see if Coach Burns decides to go to the bench here.
That is the case. So realistically now you got 5 guards on the court. Lansdale, the tallest Black Knight. You thought they were running in transition before. Wait till you see what's going to happen next.
I mean, you can't talk about this freshman. You know, I spoke with Coach Burns, and I asked her, I said, you know, talk about where did she get this confidence from? You don't see that very often from a freshman, especially on the varsity level.
It was Sullivan at the line for the one-on-one opportunity. Couldn't convert as the ball goes off a foot. Martinez comes up with it. There's the senior captain, Camille, tried to pull up in transition, and it's blocked by Spurrill.
Coach Diane Burns not happy with that choice of shot there.
As the 18-footer off the baseline, no good. Jagodzinski looking to grab the rebound, but a foul called. It will be on Rosario.
Yeah, Camille Martinez looks like he's about to check out. Coach Diane Burns going to have a few words with her.
And we'll see the other freshman on this roster, Jessica Nelson, check in.
And it's that part of the game where you don't need to be chucking up three-pointers from that deep yet.
As Jagodzinski has one rejected. It was Sullivan who came over and sent it back as the Black Knights maintain possession.
Great job by Sullivan there. Get that block. Send a message to the Black Knights.
There's Kelly thinking about the three. Retreats back towards half court.
Very mature decision there.
Lansdale from within inside the circle. Now Jagodzinski on the right wing. As it was Nelson who flashed and made herself available and then earns a trip to the line as she is fouled.
And again, the freshman. How about another freshman on this roster? Jessica Nelson.
Nelson off on the first. Nelson, another one of those Black Knights, Kev, that we've seen get a lot of time with the JV squad this year, and it's translating its success at the varsity level.
And you talk about the Black Knights. They may be losing some key players this year, but they have a lot to look forward to. A bright future here. We could be seeing the Black Knights going deep in the playoffs for many more years to come.
Loose ball tipped around and then coming up with it was Silpot. And now Lansdale controls. She runs through contact, draws a foul, and will head to the line for a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Number 24, it's Lynn Hitt. Her third, team's eighth. In for Danbury, number 30.
That's a bad foul by Ith.
Emily Grenier.
Now you send a very good free throw shooter to the line, shooting 1-1.
Was the third on to Lynn Ith as Lancedale knocks down the first. Hits both. 44-14, a minute 36 remaining in the first quarter, first half, as Silpot almost comes up with a steal off the inbound. As the Hatters all out of whack here, trying to get this ball in play. As they find Almeida. Trying to go the length of the floor, but Kelly takes it away. Up ahead, Jagodzinski had a cutting Lancedale, but instead goes up top, and Kelly slows it down now with a minute 20 on the clock.
Almost thought she moved her pivot foot there, close to a travel call.
As Nelson inside throws up an errant shot, doesn't find anything.
And that's just good defense there by Almeida. Good job contesting her shot.
It's coming off a screen. They try the pick and roll. It's tied up, and a jump ball ruled here.
Jump ball, please, ball.
As the possession arrow pointing Stanford's way with a minute remaining in the quarter. And for a thought on what we've seen through this first half, let's go to Chris Kutzel.
Frank, with Stamford High jumping out to such a huge lead here, it's going to be important for Danbury with Katrina Sullivan and Andrea Orr, their front court, to get back in this game by penetrating the basket, like I said. But obviously, like we all see, they're going to have to stop Stamford High on the offensive side of the floor if they want to have any chance. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. So 40 seconds remaining, a stoppage here. They're going to stay with Stanford. As up top is Silpot. Kelly penetrating down low and up off the glass in the bucket. It was Dinah Maroney, another freshman.
Again, 4 freshmen on this roster right now that are showcasing their skills in the quarterfinal game.
And the bucket and the foul count it. As the Hatters desperately needed that one, it was Spurrill who will go to the line with a chance for a three-point play.
Maybe that's the spark that Danbury needs going into the locker room.
Trying to cut the lead back inside 30. She hits. It's 29 with 19 seconds remaining.
Stanford should just look for one shot here to end the half.
They are in the bonus, so any foul will send the Black Knights to the line. As Lancedale over to Kelly. 5 on the clock. Kelly working to her left. Goes through the lane with a little runner. Gets it to fall. Second quarter in a row that Kelly's going to finish it with a bucket. She's got 11 on the night. It is a 48-17 Stanford lead. And for more on that first half, let's go across the court to Chris Cocho with Coach Diane Burns.
Guys, I'm here with Stanford High head coach Diane Burns. Coach, what do you say to your team in a game like this?
Well, it's a playoff game, so I'm glad they came ready to play right from the start. And at halftime, we're just going to talk about, building on what we're looking for going forward. And halftime, you saw the Super Bowl. You can't come out sleeping. We got to come out ready to go. So just continue to work hard.
Now with Alexa Kellner out, what type of job has Kelly Jagodzinski done in replacement of her?
She's done an excellent job. It's all about everybody doing their job when they get out there, and it's just play hard defense, look to run the floor, be a scoring threat, and she did all that right away from the start of the game.
Now, what do you say to your team going ahead in the second half?
That we've got to start with the same intensity no matter what, and we've got to play hard going forward.
All right, excellent. We'll catch you next game, second half. See you guys later.
Thank you, Chris.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Coach. And just a dominant half, start to finish. No other way to put it, Kev.
No other way to put it. How do you go into that locker room and what are you going to say as a head coach, for both sides? Just a tough start for Danbury, even a great start for Stanford. Picture perfect start. You talk about 11 for 11 from the field to start the first quarter. You don't see many teams start a game like that, so a great way to start. Go into the half. We'll see how Stanford comes out. That's a big question I want to look for, is how Stanford going to come out in the second half.
48-17, the Black Knights with the lead over the number 6 Danbury Hires. Kev, Chris, and I are going to step aside. We throw it to our own Kate Chaplensky with an HAN in-game news update.
I'm Kate Chaplensky, and this is your in-game news update on the HAN Network, bringing you the latest local news for Saturday, February 18th. A Florida man is facing charges after Stratford police say he robbed a bank and then attempted a second robbery. 55-year-old Keith Abel of Florida was arrested on Friday. Police said Abel was arrested after robbing a Webster Bank location of $1,200 and then attempting to rob a Walgreens pharmacy. Police said Abel was taken into custody in Milford after he crashed a car that was stolen from South Carolina. Police said no weapons were displayed during those robberies and nobody was injured. Police said the investigation into the robberies is ongoing. And a Fairfield man faces charges after he went into his ex-girlfriend's house in Easton late Thursday night in what is being described by police as in a rage. 46-year-old Mark Steinfeld of Bloomfield Drive in Fairfield parked his car behind his ex-girlfriend's vehicle, got out and began yelling and swearing in the driveway as well as on the rear deck, according to Easton police. He then broke a snow shovel and struck the window on the rear door, almost breaking it. As Steinfeld stood on the rear deck, he was threatening to break the window when his ex opened the door. When Steinfeld entered the kitchen, he pushed a water glass off of the counter and shattered. He continued to yell and scream obscenities not only at his ex-girlfriend but also at her children. Steinfeld finally exited the house, entered his vehicle, subsequently striking his ex-girlfriend's vehicle on the rear bumper before he drove away. Police couldn't find Steinfeld Thursday night but located him Friday and took him into custody. And in New Canaan, a fire in a duplex house at 6 River Street in New Canaan, which was vacant and under renovation, was extinguished by New Canaan firefighters Friday afternoon, and thankfully no one was injured. Fire was found to be within a wall of one of the units in the 2-story structure, according to Fire Chief Jack Hennessy, who was on scene and in command. Smoke filled the attic as was seen billowing out of the peak vents and second-story windows. Hennessy said firefighters broke through some interior walls and used a hose to put down the fire, then used fans to clear out the smoke. The cause of that fire is under investigation. And the Ridgefield Education Foundation has donated $10,000 to help fund the high school's new Unified Sports program. Unified Sports is a Special Olympics program designed to teach athletes with or without special needs inclusivity during training and competition. According to the foundation, teams are placed in competitive divisions based upon their skill and abilities and range from training divisions with a skill learning focus to high-level competition. Superintendent Karen Baldwin said the high school will offer volleyball in the spring as well as 2 seasons of sports next fall. Those sports haven't yet been announced. In addition to the grant funding, the program is costing the district about $8,000 in next year's budget. The district has begun interviews to hire Unified Sports coaches. And finally, there was a successful rescue Thursday morning in Greenwich. Members of the Greenwich Fire Department's Engine 8 rescued a deer Thursday morning that was stuck between a fence and a stone wall on Mountain Wood Drive. The Greenwich professional firefighters shared the video of the rescue on Facebook. It took some time to free the deer, but once it was free, it ran off seemingly uninjured. So a happy ending there. That does it for this in-game news update. For the latest local news, sports, and more, watch Coffee Break weekdays at 11. This update was brought to you by Connecticut Orthopedic Specialists.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the President's Day event and Ram Truck Month, now through February 28th.
It's all about meeting goals this year, and Trinity CrossFit of Ridgefield has experienced trainers, top-of-the-line equipment, and a newly renovated space to help get you there. Offering more classes per day than any other CrossFit gyms in the area, we cater to all fitness levels. Our coaches have a combined 10 years of experience in CrossFit, and as competitors themselves, Trinity coaches can get you ready for competition in 2017. Visit our convenient location on Route 7, Danbury Road, or find out more at trinitycrossfit.com.
Whether you're looking for the freshest seafood, the perfect steak, or want to share delicious appetizers, look no further than the Stone's Throw in Seymour. Chef Peter Hom has more than 30 years of experience creating original recipes in his American eclectic style. Our dishes are made from scratch with fresh, local ingredients that pair perfectly with a seasonal craft beer, a signature cocktail, or your favorite wine. When you visit our Riverside location, you'll feel like you're on vacation when you're only a stone's throw from home. Visit us on Roosevelt Drive in Seymour or at StonesThrowCT.com.
We told Dad he could have his office back if he sold 150 cars last month.
Deal's a deal.
Well, Dad, you did it. You get your office back.
Forget it. I'm having too much fun down here. My new goal, 160 cars.
Wow.
Folks, if you ever wanted a great price on a new Nissan, now is the time.
Right now, lease a 2017 Altima 2.5S for only $99 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Back on the HAN network, it is a 48-17 Stamford lead. And it was all Stamford from the get-go in that first half, making their first 11 buckets. Let's go across the court now with Chris Pitzel, who's joined with Danbury head coach Jackie DiNardo. Chris.
Guys, I'm here with head coach Jackie DiNardo. Coach, what do you have to do in this second half to change it up?
Well, we went to our man-to-man with a few more athletes. They're doing a great job, Stamford. You know, they're shooting from every position in scoring. So we're just going to have to try to stop each position and play one bucket at a time.
Now, Stanford's front court obviously missing Alexa Kellner. What can you tell your team to try and exploit that space that she obviously provides with Stanford?
Well, we try to do a pinch, but every time we do a pinch, they're able to pop it out to another shooter. So we're just going to have to stay on top of her, force her the turnover by her, give her a little bit of stress on defense, and hopefully that we get the ball back and get back down the floor.
Now, defensively, what do you have to do in the second half to be more efficient?
We started out a little bit in my zone, but they shoot the ball too well on the outside. I ended up putting in the zone, put the man, and the man came back, and we actually did a lot better. So we just got to pick it up on the man defense a little bit more.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Chris. And, man or zone, there wasn't much that could stop Stanford as they were hitting from all over, as Coach said.
And Frank, it's a headache if you're a head coach. Watching the Stanford team just kind of pick you apart with your defense. You see Stanford doing that. They'll dish it down low. They'll kick it back out. They can not only hit it from down low, they can hit it from deep. They're doing everything right tonight, and you know what? They're also playing outstanding and lights-out defense. You can't ask for a great way to start a game. Danbury, on the other hand, has some work to do. They need to climb back from this. No way is it over, but they can definitely come back if they play some solid defense to start and make some quick buckets. We have ourselves a game.
16 minutes of basketball left, so a lot of time on the clock, and by no means is this one over. I liked what you said about the Stanford defense, because while they're making every shot at the other end, they're not allowing Danbury opportunity to come up with buckets, and we see it right here.
And we're going to see it's going to jump ball. Nice job by Brooke Kelly there. Good hustle. And interesting enough, excuse me, Frank, Garand starting the second half, knowing she has 3 fouls. That was a question mark for me, wondering if she was going to come out and start second half, knowing that she has 3 fouls, but she's out there.
Got O'Connor out there too. Both forwards playing with 3 fouls as Jagodzinski shot off the mark, and the rebound collected there by Bragi. As Almeida pulls up in transition. Back for Bragi. Almeida as they're trying to get it inside.
Ooh.
Full swing across. Almeida goes to the baseline. Tries the reverse. Too strong, but the rebound controlled and a foul. As Andrea Orr came up with the offensive board, and the foul will go on Lansadell.
Nice job by Orr there. How about Almeida using the speed to get through on the baseline? Couldn't get the reverse to go, but Orr, great hustle to get the rebound. Now she goes to the line.
First point of the night for the senior. Off on the second, and O'Connor the rebound. This game number 3 of the quarterfinals. The HA Network bringing you all of the girls' quarterfinals this afternoon. There's Jagodzinski at 3, no good. O'Connor the putback, no good. Loose ball, and Kelly's got the rebound. Jagodzinski with a little floater in the lane.
Danbury has to box out, especially with Garand and O'Connor on the floor. They need to do a better job of boxing out, not letting Stamford get second chance buckets.
As Lansadell had possession momentarily, so a jump ball. Danbury stays with possession. Our first game of the afternoon, number 4 Norwalk and number 5 Fairfield Ward. 47-46. Ward hangs on for the win as Lansadell comes up with another steal here. Bounce pass to Jagodzinski, gets the left-hander to go.
Lansadell making it look easy with that bounce pass. That's not an easy pass to make.
As the mid-range jumper off the mark, he ran the rebound. 6:20 remaining in the quarter. Let's go across the ways with Chris Kutzo, who's got some news on our next game we've got coming up. Chris.
Frank, talking with Richfield head coach Tom DiMarzo, he was saying about Stamford High, you got to come out and punch this team in the mouth. If you want to have any chance, you have to come out and play them tough because they're going to hit their shots like we saw in the first half. And he said to me, they're the defending state champions for a reason. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. As the Hatters with a second chance opportunity here. Almeida knocks down a 3.
Great shot by Almeida there from downtown. Coach DiMarzo hit it on the head. You really do, in theory, have to punch him in the mouth early on because, I think that's why Ridgefield beat them in that matchup early on in the season at Stamford, is because that full court press just caused so many headaches for Stamford beginning of the game that Ridgefield got to a comfortable lead enough that their defense held on. And he's right. I think that's what you have to do in order to beat Stamford. But yes, they're the defending champs for a reason.
Strong take there by Guerin, putting it on the floor. As the third foul against Andrea Orr. First team foul. Greenwich and Ridgefield in the 2-7 matchup coming up next on the HAN Network. Fourth and final quarterfinal game on this Saturday. The number 1 seed Trumbull with an easy win over Staples in game number 2. As they go inside, and O'Connor another rebound.
And that was a great look by Sullivan there. Nice move inside, just couldn't quite get the layup to go.
Lansadell with the runner in the lane, no good. And Almeida the rebound over Guerin. Thought about pulling up. This is going to be another steal for Lansadell. She might have 6 or 7 to this point.
So impressive, the freshman, defensively and offensively. You see her with the ball here. She's calling all the plays here.
As they go down low to O'Connor. Kicked outside and too tall.
Heads up there, Frank.
In the direction of Lansadell. It's a turnover and a rare one at that for the Stamford Black Knights.
And it's such, I think that has a lot to do with their discipline, and that, you got to give credit to Coach Diane Burns. Doing such a great job of disciplining this team, of limiting the turnovers, and playing really solid defense.
Rosario trying to kick one out to the wing. They'll say that was saved. Good job by Ith. But Durand, another steal. As Danbury cannot shake the turnover bug right now.
And that's what's killing them. They have been able to get some stops on defense, but you're right, Frank. It's just the turnovers that are making this lead even bigger.
Kelly spotted up the three from deep. It finds O'Connor on the rebound. She can't get it to go. Once, twice, and now Danbury ball. Last touch by O'Connor.
And the size advantage again coming into play for Stamford. Too big inside for Danbury to box out. And Andrew O'Connor is having a field day with the rebounds.
I mentioned these teams played on February 1st this year. A 21-point victory for the Black Knights that day. The lead is currently 32 as O'Connor aboard. Great vision by Lansdale. She goes up top, finds Durand. Easiest bucket of the night for the Black Knights center. And Coach DiNardo is going to take a timeout with the lead at 34. 3:37 remaining. We'll step aside and be right back on the home of FCIAC Sports, the HAN Network.
A bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Back at Richfield High School on the HAN Network, inside the Tigers' Den. Quickly becoming Black Knight country, though, as they are taking over this tournament. 55-21 is the lead for Stamford in this 3-6 matchup. As we go across the ways to Chris Kutzo coming out of the timeout. Chris.
Frank and Kevin, Coach DiNardo obviously not happy in that timeout once again. She was imploring her team, despite the score, to continue to play hard. She wanted to see her team play with heart, and that was what was most important taking away from this game so far. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Another easy bucket for O'Connor. Good job getting position, able to post up. Nice pass from Jagodzinski as Almeida spots up the three. No good. Offensive board to Ith. She goes up strong, gets the bucket.
Nice job by Ith there. Nice offensive board. She puts it back up. Nice bucket there.
As they go right back to O'Connor. Jagodzinski finds herself open in the right corner. Nothing but net. It's another three.
The old-fashioned give and go there, Frank. Pretty play.
Kelly Jagodzinski up to 17 points in the game. Getting the start in place of Alexa Kellner, who is at home battling a flu-like symptoms. The lead now 37 with 2:34 remaining in the third quarter. There's just nothing that can cool Stamford off at this moment. Almeida, an answer at the other end.
Almeida, she is a very good basketball player. You can just tell. Great shot there. I love how she's continuing to play hard, too.
Went to put it on the floor, slip, but there was contact, so a foul called here. It is on Sullivan. That's her first foul. Correction, her second foul. Team second this half. As here's Camille Martinez feeling it for three. It was off Sullivan. Stanford maintains possession. Uncharacteristic miss from behind the arc there by Martinez. Jagodzinski goes inside, but Guerin can't get the shot up under pressure that time from Emily Bragi.
Good defense there by Danbury.
Bragi steps into a three, knocks it down. Big bucket there from the senior. And a timeout taken by Coach Burns now. 60-29, a minute 51 remaining. We'll step aside and be right back on the HAN Network.
Get a fresh start to the new year by shaking up your meal routine. Walter Stewart's Market is your local source for a delicious selection of fresh and convenient salad shakers, like Southwest salad with chicken, Cobb with organic chicken, Power Vegan with fruit and quinoa, Greek salad with tabbouleh, and grilled shrimp with hominy. Grab one from our salad case or order from our deli today. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
We're back on the HAN Network. FCIAC quarterfinals. We've got a lot of playoff coverage coming up the next 2 weeks, so make sure you go to the Google or Apple Store and download the HAN Network app. Search HAN.network to have all of our playoff coverage and live shows available for you at the touch of a button as Guerin's 20-footer off the mark. Battle on the floor. Silpot able to find that one. And Coach Burns going to take a timeout again with mass chaos going on there. Black Knights just sliding around trying to grab possession. Good timeout taken.
Yeah, this is a smart timeout. Kind of re-go over everything. And this is the time when I think Stanford, what I like they've been doing so far is they're kicking it down low more, they're trying to really get some offensive plays going. It's almost like really getting prepared for the next game because they're looking down low. They're getting Guerin good looks down low. Andrea O'Connor can get some good looks. I like how they're not really just shooting threes anymore. They're really trying to paint it down low.
And for more out of this timeout, let's go across the court behind the benches with the HAN Network's Chris Kutzow. Chris.
Now, Frank, in that timeout, Coach Diane Burns preached to her team fundamentals. She wants them to continue to play fundamentally sound, and now in preparation potentially for a very dangerous Ridgefield team in the next round of the playoffs. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. A minute 20 remaining in the third quarter. It is 60-29 in favor of the Black Knights. An offensive foul here on Guerin. That is her fourth. Something to keep an eye on.
So far, no activity on the bench here from Coach Diane Burns.
As open in the corner for three is Ith. No good, but it was last touched by Silpot. And it will stay with the Hatters. Of course, next Saturday we have the boys quarterfinals on the HAN Network. Kevin and Chris on all four games from Fairfield Ward. John Kovacs, Chris Kalen, and myself will be at Terry Connors Ice Rinks. We'll have the girls FCIAC championship for hockey and the two quarterfinal games for the boys. Of course, the girls semifinals for basketball on Tuesday, for hockey on Wednesday, and the basketball championship for the girls Thursday night, all of which will be live on the HAN Network.
They're looking forward to going to Ludlow. It's a good venue for basketball there, Frank.
So here's Kelly over on the wing. Working against Almeida. She looks to isolate up top. Now they go to Guerin inside. Trying to run the pick and roll with Martinez, but it's taken away. Being up ahead, and Ith unable to control that one as Jagodzinski's going to get credited with a steal there.
Stanford slow it up a little bit here. Nice job by Camille Martinez. Slow the tempo down a little bit here. Run the offense.
Martinez with it with 10 seconds. Guerin up top. Now Silpot. Jagodzinski Got to get herself open, but is called for a travel with 2.5 seconds remaining. Good defense there across the board from the Hatters.
Great defense. Move the pivot foot.
Shot at the buzzer will come up short. It is 60-29 with 8 minutes remaining. We're going to step aside from Ridgefield High School. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter of action on the home of FCIAC Sports, the HAN Network.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
Back on the HAN Network, start of the fourth quarter. Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman, and across the court, our very own Chris Cuzzo. Chris, take it away.
Frank and Kevin, in a game like this, if you're Danbury, you definitely have to continue to just play aggressively, attack the basket, and continue to get outside shots. For me, it's got to be Katrina Sullivan and Andrea Orr that are going to be the ones that lead Danbury to make this a little more respectable. Back to you.
Kev, in a situation like this, by no means are you preaching this game is over, but what do you want to see from the Hatters now in these final 8 minutes?
Just continue to play hard. Move the ball around, run the offense. You know, limited turnovers would be something I think that Coach DiNardo would love to see. And that too, that doesn't hurt.
Almeida's got a hot hand in the second half. Her second three. This ball kicked. Smart play by Bragi as they were trying to go back to O'Connor. Has had a lot of success tonight posting up at the top of the key. That one through the hands of Lancidel. Waiting there was Rosemarie Luis. Like dump it inside to her. Lancidel up top.
Ooh. Can't pick up her dribble there.
O'Connor wrestling that one away. Now she wants to go to the rack. Oh, good off the glass, but the rebound goes to the Hatters. Good job there by Ith, who's played very well in this second half for Danbury.
She really has. Coming up with some big rebounds defensively and even on the offensive end. We've seen her put back some offensive rebounds.
Cross-court pass. Bragi's three, no good. Great hustle there from Sullivan.
And that's something you would love to see. Not that, but we'd love to see the intensity and the ball movement by Danbury for the rest of this game.
Another Hatter turnover that time. Goes to a travel again. O'Connor diving on the floor for that one. Down low. Outside, and Nelson fighting a little bit on that possession.
Both teams a little sloppy here to start the fourth quarter. I think if you're Stamford, you'd love to close this game out on a high note.
Bragi in trouble. And another turnover here. Good job by Nelson, forcing the bad pass. Is in the lane off the glass. Good play there from Lancidel. Love the fundamentals.
That's right. Frankie fundamentals there. Up and down the court. Nice steal. Kisses it off the glass.
Almeida, three-pointer off the screen. No good. Now, Jadlyn Watkins has checked into the game. So Coach Burns using some of those seniors off the bench early here in the fourth quarter. O'Connor with it. Outside, and it's Nelson. Isolated against Almeida. Correction. That is Rebecca Kahn who's in there now. Lewis in the paint. Tried the hook shot, but it was denied by Ith.
Great job there by the Hatters. Good defense.
That's a travel.
And Frank, we go back to where Andrea O'Connor had the ball at the elbow. I think talked about a little bit in the first half how if she wants to take her game to the next level, from there, how about a jump shot? You know, if she can work on that during the offseason where she turns the ball around, looks around, she doesn't have anything, she can either shoot it, pump fake, or take it to the hoop. And that's just her bread and butter right there.
Another bucket for O'Connor. Let me ask you a question, Kev, as we're seeing some of the seniors check in now for the Black Knights, who don't play as much. Obviously, with this kind of a league, Coach Burns has the luxury of getting everyone onto the floor. Do these starters look to those seniors a little bit more, trying to get them the rock and get them a bucket?
Absolutely. I think, especially in a playoff game, you love, to get a bucket. I think every player, can say they scored in the regular season, but there's just something different about scoring in the playoffs. It means something more, and I think if you're a senior, coming into the playoffs, this is your last playoff run, you'd love to get a bucket.
As Andrea O'Connor gets a well-deserved round of applause as she heads to the bench with 4:30 remaining. Moses, Watkins, Nelson, Lancidel, and Lewis are the 5 on the floor for Coach Burns. Let's go across the way and hear from Chris Kutzo. Chris.
Frank, if I'm Stanford, I definitely want to continue to play aggressively, like we said before, and obviously play fundamentally. Like we said before, they're going to play a very dangerous Ridgefield team, potentially, that beat them early in the season, potentially next round. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. And again, at the conclusion of this game, we'll have a 25-minute warm-up before number 2 Ridgefield takes on number 7 Greenwich here in the Tigers' Den.
That's going to be a great matchup too, Frank. This is a Greenwich team that's hungry right now. I think nice three-pointer there, but I think if you're any one of these remaining teams in the FCIAC, don't go into a game against Greenwich too lightly. They could come out and really surprise some people.
So far today, games have gone pretty much as expected. That 4-5 matchup to start the afternoon. Many just called it a toss-up, who might have possession last, and it played out that way. A well-fought battle between both teams back and forth, and Fairfield Ward coming away with a 47-46 victory. In game number 2, it was the number 1 seed Trumbull Eagles who handled the 8th seeded Staples Wreckers 54-37. Just the Trumbull press too much for a Wreckers team that's relying heavily on young, inexperienced players right now. Great to see them back in the FCIAC for the first time since 2002. They'll make it to the state tournament this year after not qualifying last year. So a program trending up right now. These are the learning curves you go through. And then what we're seeing here today now, Stanford back to championship form is the only way to describe it. 64-35. Have been able to rest the starter since arguably halfway through the second quarter.
Every school goes through their tough years, and Norwalk just seems to be going through it right now in basketball. This is a team in the late 90s, early 2000s who ran the FCI for girls basketball. I mean, you talk about a scary team. They really ran the table back then. It's a really well-run, traditional basketball program. They'll get back on their feet.
As Almeida knocks down the first free throw.
Right now, Frank, if I'm Stanford, look out for Jalen Watkins here, the senior, number 14. She just checked in. Big rebound there. See if she can get a bucket.
Foul down low.
Her first, team's third.
Hey, you know what, Frank? You know what's interesting? Normally, shooters from the free throw line will set their feet right close to the line. She's a good inch or so, maybe even more from that line. Now you see her step up a little bit, but that first shot was from pretty far away.
Just hanging on the rim there. And that adjustment, good to go for Nelson. She's 2 for 4 from the line tonight. A 2:40 to play. 29-point lead in favor of Stamford. They have led from the get-go, made their first 11 shots in this one. That bucket for Tiana Myers, the senior, getting on the board. This was a Danbury team that was 6-14 last year. Major turnaround. They'll be playing in the Class LL state tournament this year. A foul called here. So Rosario and Almeida head to the bench.
And Almeida really had a nice game for Danbury. Very strong player. Still young, too. So she's got 2 years left with this Harris program.
Only a sophomore and showed flashes of it today. As the final freshman for the Black Knights getting ready to check in, that is Jasmine Malcolm. So Nelson finds her way back to the free throw line here. Off on the first. Again, 2 minutes to play, and then we will have our fourth quarterfinal matchup for you on the HAN network. Number 2, Ridgefield, and number 7, Greenwich. As Nelson hitting the back end of that free throw opportunity. Remember, if you can't be by your computer, you can always download the HAN Network app for any of your tablets or phones or devices. Available in the Google and Apple store, so you have all of our broadcasts and live show available to you at the touch of a button. So takeaway here, and Nelson out in transition now on the break. Can't get the bucket to go. Good job hustling back. That was by Sabrina Almeida.
Still playing with a lot of intensity, a lot of heart. That's something that you just love to see, especially with a team like Danbury.
Of course, at the conclusion of this game, Chris Kutza will be joined with tonight's player of the game. As Sabrina in the lane, just too strong off the glass. The semifinals are scheduled for Tuesday night. I believe they'll be 4 and 6 o'clock. The three-pointer on the way. Knocked down that time by Damaya Moore.
If you're Coach DiNardo, you have to be very, very proud of that ball movement there. Yes, they're down. What a great sequence there of moving the ball back in, back out, and getting a good-looking shot.
So 50 seconds on the clock. Here's Nelson with it. Nelson into the paint, and one too many steps. Might have gotten away with that in the NBA, but not in the FCIAC.
Maybe if you're LeBron James, you can get away with that.
We do know that the Fairfield Ward Trumbull semifinal game will be the late game on Tuesday night. Stanford has booked their ticket to the early game. Who will they be playing? We'll find out next. It's an offensive rebound. And then another miss as the Black Knights just need to gain half court. Can let time run out here. A turnover.
Just got a hole out of the ball there for Stanford.
Trying to split through traffic, and we'll see one more stoppage now with 5.8 seconds remaining.
And you know what? Great effort tonight by Danbury. Coming up short. It's just Stanford came out red hot. And, when a team goes down by a lot of points like this, Frank, you love to see the intensity and the heart still in this game. They're not giving up. You love to see that.
So it is Moore at the free throw line. It's the first. 4 points for Demia Moore in this fourth quarter. Shooting 3 free throw attempts. That second one short. As is the third. Rebound controlled, and that will do it. 66-42, the final in this one. The Black Knights led 33-5 after the first quarter. And it was smooth sailing after that, Kev.
Really was. 11 for 11 to start the game. Red hot from the field. Couple three-pointers, some mid-range jumpers, couple lay-ins inside. You're looking at an early lead, a big early lead early on. This was just, Stanford's game from the tip-off to the end of the game. What a fantastic performance. And like I said earlier, this is really sending a message to Richfield and Greenwich right now saying that you want to play with us, this is what we're going to bring to the table, and I thought they did an excellent job doing that.
Our player of the game in her first career postseason start in place of Alexa Kellner is Kelly Jagodzinski. She is joined now with our own Chris Kutzo. Let's go down to Chris. Chris.
Guys, I'm here with our HAN player of the game, Kelly Jagodzinski. Kelly, you picked a heck of a game to play one of your best games this season, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, playing so well, what can you take away for this in preparation for potentially a very good Richfield team?
I think we all just need to start playing together. Even if our bigs are in foul trouble, the guards have to pick it up and not just slow down. The guards have to also do a lot of work too.
Now, with your bigs, missing Alexa Kellner, filling in for her, very important. She's one of the better players on the team. What did you guys do that was so good defensively and able to stifle Danbury?
I think our guards actually really picked it up this game because Marth was in foul trouble, and then they started calling fouls on Andrea, and then the guards had to pick it up again.
All right, Kelly, excellent game. HAN player of the game, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Kelly. She was put in a tough position having to replace Alexa Kellner, which I don't think anyone could do, but just came out firing right away, had 10 points in that first quarter, led all scorers in the game with 17. Played so well from start to finish. We talked about it off the air. I thought this would be a big game for Megan Lansadell, especially without Kellner, and she was really responsible for running that offense. She stepped it up on the defensive end. 6 steals tonight, a couple of blocks, and the freshman is proving to be one of the elite players in this conference.
Frank, it's amazing to see her confidence grow each game that we get to see Stanford play. Really is fun to watch, and especially on defense. We know what she can do offensively. She's got great ball handling skills. She can lead as a freshman. She has great vision, but the defense, Frank, how about that? She's got great vision, great hands. She can steal the ball away. We saw it tonight, 6 steals. So impressive on the defensive end. Not only her, but the rest of the Stanford team, again, lights out defensively. I think, Greenwich and Richfield, looking at this game, have to be very careful when they bring the ball into their own offensive end now. One of these two teams is going to face a red-hot Stanford team coming in the semifinals.
We will find out who Stanford will face shortly. It'll be number 2 Richfield and number 7 Greenwich coming up next on the HAN Network. Make sure you refresh your browser before that game. Final score, number 3 Stanford 66, knocking off the number 6 Danbury Hatters 42. For Chris Kutzo, Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Bonito. We're going to step aside and be back in about half an hour with game number 2 of the doubleheader.